Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of GIS Bigfoot Answers. Today we're going to be looking at something totally cool. It's like some reports that go back to the 1890s. So this will be really interesting, and they take place in Kansas, the state of Kansas, in Topeka. Why don't you get a cup of tea or a coffee or a pop and some cookies, and we'll settle down and we'll look into these sightings because they're really interesting, and they come from a viewer who submitted through the membership. It's $5 a month to be a member, and you can submit your sightings that will be featured on the GIS Bigfoot Answers Encounter app. So you can be a member through the YouTube channel, or you can be a member through the Patreon application. And there's links provided to those if you want to support the channel. You don't have to provide your name or any details, any personal information. You can just submit your report, or you can just have access to this map as well, and just to have a nose about and read some of the encounters and view them spatially on this map. Anyway, yeah, I'll just wait a few minutes so you can get you a cup of tea or your coffee. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. It's been a great summer, and hopefully everybody's enjoyed themselves, and maybe you had some Bigfoot sightings over the summer and you'd like to share those. And again, you can remain anonymous. You don't have to put your name as part of the submission. So we'll get started on this. We've got 33 sightings in the application so far. And two new ones from Kansas, and they're dating back to the 1890s. Oh, actually, there's one 1869, and then there's 1893 in and around Topeka. So if you click on these, there you go. You can actually see them in the map. So let's zoom in. So it's just west of Kansas City. It is in Kansas. So if we click on that report, it's coming from the Glasgow. It must be a newspaper from Kansas, September 8, 1893. Reports that several people have seen a gorilla at night and during the day. Farmers have had calves, a cow, and a horse killed. Other newspaper reports that a gorilla has been in the melon patches causing havoc. Terrible roars and screams and whistles have been made by the animal. Wow, that's pretty awesome. But you will notice back then they described this animal as a gorilla. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, what else would they describe it as? That's the closest animal that you would think, that a Bigfoot would be. Like, that's how you would describe it. I mean, they didn't have the internet and TV back then. So what does it look like? Well, it looks like a monkey or an ape. So here's another one. Let's see how far away they are. We'll measure that distance, miles. So 67 miles away. And again, if you subscribe to the YouTube membership or to our Patreon channel, you will have access to this application. So this is from 1869, September, in the Daily Herald in Iowa. Numerous sightings in the Arcadia Valley in Kansas indicate a gorilla or wildman that has been seen several times in the field and has approached homes. Men have driven it away from the homes, but are unwilling to shoot it because of its human form. Interesting. It has a stooping gait, very long arms, immense hands and claws. It has a hairy face and generally walks on its hind legs. Over 60 settlers gathered to hunt the creature, but it escaped. The locals gave it the name Old Chef. The animal is said to have torn down cattle fences and small outhouses. Other reports from Kansas City a few years later state that 30 miles from town there is a strange animal roaring through the woods. A hideous animal that is half man and half devil and over 7 feet tall. That's in Cedar Creek, Johnson County, 30 miles out of Kansas City. We're looking at Kansas City. Here is Kansas City. And if we look up Johnson County, there it is there. And let's measure from our first one. Yeah, 40, let's say 50 miles. And 70 miles from the second one. So they're all pretty close together and within 10 or 20 years of each other. Vocalizations, visuals, basically wreaking havoc and scaring people. But the reports are that they are ape-like creatures, gorillas. So let's have a look at some of this topography. But also, let's look at the BFRO map and see if there's any clusters in and around Kansas, or in and around Kansas City and around Topeka. Okay, so here we are. The red points indicate visual sightings and other evidence, such as Bigfoot footprints and vocalizations, nests. There's Kansas City. Looks like a real cluster of, when you look at this, right through from Kansas City all the way down to Houston. Interesting. Topeka is over to the west. Yeah, you can see there is quite a few sightings in and around Topeka. And these aren't the ones that I had covered previously. Let's just click on one. This one's 1978, July. A youth has a sighting while fishing on the Kansas River near Topeka. 1960, a motorist sighting results in a collision. Well, you can look that up. If you want to go to BFRO.net, you can look up Report 1330. That sounds fascinating. There's another one, October 2012. A woman driving at night hits a man-like animal near Mayetta. Wow. Is that 2 collisions? That's really fascinating. Report 38440. If you want to take a look at that, I would recommend, go ahead and take a look at that. But we will look at, let's have a look at Google Maps, and we'll see what this really looks like. It's close to part of Topeka called Quinton Heights. Let's see if we can find this. I mean, we're going back over 100 years, 130 years now. Looks like the river, but it's still a wooded subdivision. Let's have a look, see what we can see here. Looks like there's some Google Street View. There's the water course. Pretty wooded, but I mean, obviously, like I said, back then, they would have been settlers living in this area. And now, pretty developed, really quite developed. So, let's go back to our other map. Let's go back to, going back to the GIS Bigfoot Answers map now. I'll look at this other sighting in Iowa Point. So we're going to flip back again to the Google Maps. Close to Fort Leavenworth, Missouri River. And I guess, look at that. Oh yeah, along the Missouri River, squatchy or what? Right? Look at, that's a huge habitat. What is that thing? What the hell is that nasty thing? Something got run over there. Spectacular anyway. What's going on down here? Looks like the cops are here. No, somebody just pulled over. Maybe they've seen a squatch. Look at that. Vast wetland, really. That's what it looks like to me, with grasslands, vegetation, nice, some woodlands. So that is the Missouri River. Missouri River that is the border between Kansas and Missouri. I'm not too familiar with this. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their cups of tea and cookies. Chilling, right? Everybody's chilling. Hopefully you find this relaxing. Hopefully you're not falling asleep. Anyway, if you become a member, like I mentioned before, of the YouTube channel or the Patreon channel, you can submit your encounter on this form. Basically, it's $5 a month, or you can just view. If you don't want to submit information, you can view the encounters map here. We're also developing other applications for our members. Even just outdoors maps you can use in the field when you're out squatching or you're out hiking, hunting, whatever. These are maps that you can access, and you can, you have these tools that you can use if you have an internet connection on your phone or wireless device. Connection to the internet is required. And yeah, so there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and keep the submissions coming. And if you have ideas on what you want to see, post down below. And yeah, keep the conversations going, guys. Let me know what you think.